Okay, first we're going to start with our application problem, lesson 16, inside your orange book. If you do not have your book, you can use your whiteboard and marker or a piece of paper and a pencil. So let's start with our read, draw, and write. Let me erase those. And we're going to read it first, and then we're going to draw, and then we're going to write. So I'm going to read it. Let's do our circling of our units. There are 16 coats on a rack. So let's circle 16 coats on the rack, 9 students. I'm going to circle 9 students took their coats. So units change from coats to students, but students took their coats. So I'm going to circle this one to go outside. How many coats were still on the rack? I'm going to just circle that coats because that's still dealing with the same unit. So now that I've circled my number and my units, I'm going to box in keywords. So were, meaning that's what I started with. That sounds like a keyword to me. Started with 16 on the rack, 9 students took. When I hear the word took, I think minus subtract. Took their coats to go outside. How many were still on the rack? So still on sounds like how many I got left. And of course, how many is also a keyword because it's asking me how many are still on. All right, so now I can underline my question. Look for the question mark. Go to the first word of the question or sentence. Is still a sentence. That capitalized letter tells me it starts right there. How? So how many coats were still on the rack is my question. All right, next I am going down here and mark off my reading because I read it. Now I'm going to draw. So let's do some dots. And I'm going to make my dots bigger so you can see them. All right, so we started with 16. Let's do 16 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 group rows. I'm going to put in the 10 frame method. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and I need one more for 16. 9 students took, so I'm going to subtract off 9 of those. 5 there. 6, 7, 8, 9. I took the 9 from the 10 because I know that 9 minus 10 will always leave me with that 1. And that's easier for me to count. I could have also did a number bun, or I could have used the numbers. Let me set up the number bun here. Circle, circle, and circle. And I know my whole number was 16. So I put a 16 in there. And I know one of my numbers is 9. And I can count my dots over here to find out what my other number is. That's 6 dots plus 1 dot equals 7 dots. So 9 and 7 equals 16. I'm going to draw my lines from my number line to connect it to my whole number. Okay, so I did my drawing. Now I'm going to go to my writing. I can write a number sentence. There's a sentence with numbers. Let's do the text box for that one. So I had 16. Oh, let's make that bigger so you can see it. 48. Oh, that's still pretty small. Maybe that will work. Okay, so 16 minus the 9 they took equaled 7. That's my number sentence. And I come down and write a word sentence at the bottom, and I can say I'm answering the question, how many coats were still on the rack? 7 coats are still on the rack. Or I could have said there are 7 coats. If you want to challenge yourself, do